Ian Corliss from iancorliss.com, and I'm back with the Instinct XX 20 litre multi-day pack. What I wanted to do with this video is show you how to pack, or the options for packing for a multi-day overnight adventure that involves more equipment than a traditional multi-day like Marathon des Sables. So for example, a tent, and inside I have a sleeping bag, some clothing, food for an evening and a morning, and snacks for during the day. So if you haven't already seen, I've done a video for multi-day, which is like a typical Marathon des Sables setup. And I've also done a video showing the front of the pack and showing how the bottles fit, but I'm also going to show that here. So let's start off by looking at the pack, and there's mesh pockets at the bottom which really expand, and I'm going to take out a couple of items from there first. These are the type of things that I might need while I'm running, and I can reach around and access them quickly. So for example, a pair of merino gloves, that always comes in really handy. And then on the other side here, I can reach around and pull out a waterproof jacket. So just a lightweight, waterproof, windproof jacket, and they're the type of things that you can reach around the pack and grab them as and when you need to. Now here, this pack has a really interesting feature of how you can attach, for example, a tent, a sleeping mat. You could attach a sleeping bag and a dry bag to the outside. For the reasons of this, I've attached the tent. Now this is a two-person tent. It weighs just over 1 kilogram. It's by Big Agnes. If I was going solo, then I would take a single person tent and it would be smaller than this. So for this example, it's good to show this. And one of the key features that I like about this tent, it's actually a bike packing tent. And the reason I use a bike packing tent is because the poles come smaller, and it makes it a lot easier to pack, particularly in a small bag like this. So the carabiner basically undoes here, but I'm going to have to release it underneath. There's two tension straps which you can pull, which allows you to get the tension so that this doesn't bounce around. I have had a jog around and I found that there was very little or no movement with this on the bottom of the pack. So that's a really good and useful feature, and a great way for carrying a tent. You'll see here that there are elastic loops. This is an optional place to attach poles. So I've got poles here. I've just got them so that you can see that they would go there. There are three places that you can attach poles on this pack, and that is the bottom here. You can attach them to the sides of the front of the pack, and also you can attach them on the other side with a system across the bottom. So that's the bottom of the pack. Now here is a mesh pocket. You can access this mesh pocket from the top, and there's also access from both sides, and it's actually a really good area to store things. And if you don't have a tent or a mat here, you can definitely really fill this pocket out. In here at the moment, what I've got is my sleeping mat, which is a Cedar Summit. It's actually an extra small, but it's perfect for fast packing or multi-day because it's super light and it's very comfortable. So you can see here how the mesh pocket expands, and also from the other side you can come in and it's 2 layers. The main compartment of the pack here has a zip all the way around, and it opens like a suitcase, and on the top here you have a zip pocket. At the moment I've just got a battery pack and a cable for my phone so that I can charge overnight, but there's plenty of room to fit more things in there should you need to. And of course it's a quick access point if you take the pack off. Unzipping the main compartment, there's mesh pockets in the lid, and then you've got the main compartment. So here in this mesh pocket I've got 4 energy bars, and they are energy bars that I wouldn't need while I was running. They're just spare food should I need it. Here in the top pocket I've got a buff, a blindfold, and a pillow. So basically that's my part of my sleeping kit. And I actually it's a nice little trick, this is I use the buff over the pillow to act like a pillowcase. It just makes it a little bit more comfortable, and if it's really cold I can take the buff off the pillowcase and pull it over my head. This is my sleeping bag. Now if you saw my other video of me packing this bag, I actually didn't have the sleeping bag in a dry bag. I used the mesh pocket that's at the bottom of the pack, and the reason why I've done this is I'm still figuring out what is the best way to pack this, because there's so many options and so many variables. I'm playing around to find out which works best for me. So in this scenario I've put my sleeping bag in a dry bag, and this is a PhD lightweight sleeping bag. It weighs around about 400 grams, and it's perfect for down to 0. Now I am in Norway, and at this time of year it could be chilly during the night, so I have a really lightweight down jacket. I would have this anyway. I always take a lightweight down jacket. This is a Haglof's Essence. It only weighs 180 grams. It's really, really warm, very, very light, and packs small. I've also got a merino leggings base layer and a merino base layer top. So when I've been running during the days, the first thing I will do is take my running clothes off and put the merino base layers on, which immediately gets me warm with the down jacket. And then I've also got a hat and warm gloves. So that's my keeping myself warm when I've finished. I've also put in here a liner for the sleeping bag, just in case the temperature really does drop and I need that extra slight insulation. Of course, if you're going to be out in good summer, spring weather, you can get rid of this and save weight. This is my cooking system. It's an MSR all-in-one cooking system. The great thing I like about this is that everything is neatly put together. I've actually added this, which is a cup. So that gives me an option to use hot water for drinks. And then in here is the cooking system. And this is great because it's really lightweight. You've got a pot holder, a lighter, the burner, the gas canister, and then the pot to boil the water in. So that's an all-in-one system, really small, lightweight, and it's my favourite multi-day fast packing cooking system. There's my tent pegs, and these are the tent poles. Now you see how small these tent poles are, and this is what is great about this Big Agnes bike packing tent, is that the poles are so small that they can fit anywhere. There might be a slight weight disadvantage by having the smaller pole, but it's marginal, and for me, a 1 kilogram, just over 1,000 grams tent for 2 people. If you split the weight, it's 500 grams each. Now, you know, if I was fast packing with somebody else who I was going to share the tent with, one would carry the tent and one would carry the poles and the pegs, so that you split the weight. I've got a spare pair of socks, or have I got one sock? It looks like, oh no, here's the other sock. So I've got a spare pair of socks and another buff. Buffs are really, really handy. They weigh no weight at all. And they are a great way for going around your neck, over your head. You can even use them as a blindfold. Now, this is the mesh pocket that I talked about. Now, when I packed this bag for a race like MDS, I stuffed the sleeping bag inside there. I still haven't decided whether that is the best option. It's to be decided. In this scenario, I've not used it. I've actually just placed everything on top and just had that flattened down. So I'll see what happens when I run and decide whether it's better to put something in there. Now, this top section is the extra bit that if you don't need it, it just rolls down and it makes the pack 18 litres. With it, it makes the pack 24 litres. It's a roll top closure with Velcro at the top. So you just undo it, and in here I've got my food for the fast pack. So I've got some dried mangoes to snack on. I've got my spoon. I've got some combat wipes, which are wet wipes, good for your face, your body, also if you go to the toilet. I've got a head torch in here. I've got a couple of protein bars for recovery. In here I have penknife, lighter, water tablets, hot chocolate, coffee, tea, snacks, all the type of things that you need for an overnight camp. I've got some minestrone quick soup, a couple of dehydrated meals by Firepot. So pasta bolognese, and this one is the type of thing that I could use either way. Actually, is if I'm really hungry, I might eat 2 in the evening. It depends how much running I've done. If not, I would have 1 for dinner, 1 for breakfast. So with those contents out, you can roll this up and put it out of the way. So this gives you an idea to see how this pack compresses if you don't need that top pocket. So you suddenly make the pack 6 litres smaller. So that's all the contents that I would be using for an overnight fast packing trip. And when I say overnight, I could go out for 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights, however long I needed. I would just need to take more food. I wouldn't need any more clothing or equipment. Flicking the pack over, you get to see the layout. Now what I've purposely done is I've added 2 different size bottles. This is an 800 milliliter hard bottle and it's insulated. The reason I'm showing that is that I wanted to show that it will take a really big hard bottle, but also the fact that how flexible this pack is. On this side there is a 650 ml hard bottle, but as I showed in a previous video, if I wanted to, I've got 2 Innovate 500 ml bottles here which are flat on the back. Is that if I wanted to, this pack will allow me to take 4 bottles. Now, if I was fast packing in a very remote area where I didn't know if I had access to water, that could be a game changer, because not only would it allow me enough water to maybe drink during the fast pack itself, but it would still allow me enough water for drinking when I got back. Now, of course, if you don't need all that water, you could just take 2 500 flasks, and that would free up even more space. And then here, these pockets could be used for snacks. They could be used for additional storage. So a good example being, let me get my jacket, is that if you wanted access to the jacket could go in here, no problem at all. Equally on the other side, let's say I wanted to put a buff, I could put a pair of gloves. So the storage possibilities are pretty endless, and you've still got space in here. So for example, if you wanted a couple of energy bars, you could take energy bars and put them in as well. So the front of the pack has got loads of storage, plenty of options for water, plenty of space, and in addition to all the mesh pockets, you've got a zip pocket here and a zip pocket here. And I haven't got anything in here at the moment apart from a face mask. It's now essential to carry a face mask. And the chances are when I actually do the fast pack, I will probably put something in here. I just haven't decided what yet. Also on the shoulder straps, there are 2 mesh pockets. So in this one, I have a Garmin InReach. Whenever I go out and I'm going into any sort of remote environment, I always take a Garmin InReach. It will probably be turned off unless I want to be tracked, and I tend to use that as an emergency. On the opposite side here, I've got some Gurney Grue chaffing cream and a compass. You can see the elasticated sides, and this is what makes it adjustable for any size of person. By fitting the front of the pack first, you then adjust the elastics to take the bounce out of the pack and keep it tight against your body. There's 3 straps on the front. The top 2 are not stretchy, and they're designed to give the stability to the pack. The bottom one is stretchy, and the reason why that is stretchy is to allow flexibility in breathing and no restriction. So there you go, there's the Instinct XX 20 litre with a fast packing setup.